Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Singing News Studios here at the LeConte Center in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. This is the National Quartet Convention. We are so excited this week. Man, great things are happening right here all week long. If you've never been to NQC, make plans to come next year. Okay, will you do that? Thank you for watching on Singing News TV, listening on Singing News Radio. You can get more information on Singing News TV by going to singingnewstv.com. And Singing News Radio is heard all over the world by our free streaming app. You can download on your smartphone or tablet Singing News Radio. You can also listen at singingnews.com. Just click that Listen Live. And on around 50 radio stations across the country. Good to have Ray Hollis here with me and his lovely wife, Jan. Welcome here to the Singing News Studios, man. You look sharp. Look at that shirt. Look at that.
Thank you. She helps me out.
Oh, good. They have to dress us. They have to dress us. What would we do without our wives? That's right. Jan, good to have you as well.
Thank you. So good to be here.
And I want to talk with you guys a little bit about your ministry. I think it's very intriguing what you do. I want to mention first that Ray here has the #2 song all across the country on the Faith Country chart in the Singing News magazine. How does that feel, Ray?
Feels really good, real good, you know. And we were looking at it last night, and thanks to all the people who help us get there. But I like to write. It's called "Eyes for You," and it's kind of a dual-purpose song. It's a worship song. I was a worship leader for most of my adult life, and still am. And so to put that with, you know, more of a country style, or you know. To merge the two, and it's called Eyes for You. So I have eyes for Jesus, a lot of good scriptures in the Bible about eyes, and I have eyes for Jan. So I can sing it to him in worship, or I can sing it to her, you know, kind of like that Song of Solomon thing, you know.
How long have you two been together? Jan, how long have you two been together?
How long have we been married?
Oh, I know.
We've been married for 48 years, but we've been together for 50. I know. We were babies.
You both look so young. How is that possible? 48 years married.
Yes.
Congratulations. Wow, you're almost at that 50.
Almost.
Very good. I think it's cool that while Ray is singing, you do something very special, which is a ministry in itself with sign language. You do sign language to Ray's songs.
Yes.
How long have you been doing that?
We have 3 children. Our oldest one is hearing, and the other 2 are deaf.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So one of our daughters is 42. She's the one that's deaf.
Okay.
And then our son is 37, and he is also deaf. So when Rachel was born and we found out she was deaf, she was not quite 2 years old when we found out for sure that she could not hear. And so when we started using sign language with her, I started automatically interpreting because I didn't want her to miss anything at all. And so I would go to Sunday school class with her and volunteer in teacher class, or just sit in so I could sign what was going on. And so I've been doing this for quite some time.
That is inspiring. And
Thank you.
The idea to bring that into the ministry aspect, where did that come from? I mean, that's pretty different and very good. So did you just think one day while he was singing, I mean, you thought, well, we want to communicate this because we can relate with our kids, what they're going through, but there are other people out there that might want to enjoy that ministry. Is that kind of how that evolved?
Absolutely. There are just a very small percentage of deaf people in the United States that are Christians. And the reason would be because of the communication barrier. Being deaf is a lot different from a lot of other disabilities of sorts in that it can alienate you from people. It's isolating, as well as from the gospel, from the preaching, as well as the teaching, the music, and all of that. So doing sign language allows everyone to be included. It's an inclusive ministry. And it's really what started out being a very, very difficult time for us, you know, because we don't have any family history of deafness that we know of. But to find out that our baby was deaf, that was probably the first time I'd met a deaf person.
Wow.
And then we had the second one that was also deaf. But although it was very, very difficult at first, God has used that in allowing me to be able to learn how to sign and to sign fluently. I'm a sign language interpreter, nationally certified, and have been for several years. And so it opened the door of opportunity to administer not just to our children, but to their friends and to other deaf, basically anywhere we go.
Man, that just touches my heart to see how God can take something like that, which is so necessary for those who are hearing impaired, but then it's converted to a ministry, and now you're able to reach people and communicate that. I've never really thought of that, Jan, about that communication barrier, because we are all influenced by what we hear. And if you're not able to do that, then you just can't learn the way that the rest of us did, you know. So what a great ministry. God bless you for that. And to be nationally certified, that's pretty legitimate. Congratulations to that.
Thank you.
Ray, you've been singing for how long, bro?
My uncle gave me my first guitar in the 2nd grade. He gave me a little short scale version of a Gibson melody maker.
Okay.
And so that's where it started. He gave me that in the amp, and so my dad was a musician. All of his brothers were musicians. My dad would play guitar and piano around the home, and so really my sister plays piano. My brother plays drums. So it's just part of our home. My mom doesn't play, but she's 89 now.
Okay.
And
Wow.
she's the dancer. I have 2 left feet. She's a dancer of the group.
Every weekend she dances.
Still,
Keeps her
to
alive.
this day? Is
At
it
89.
what type of dancing? I'm just curious. Is it line dancing? Is it
It's kind of like that. I
Okay.
think she's probably past the age now to do the line dancing, but she's always seems to be the star of the room for whatever reason.
She keeps it moving.
Well, you know why I mentioned that? It's ironic. Listen, I had a teacher who made a remarkable impact on my life in the 6th grade. Her name was Miss Bristow, and she was already middle-aged at that time, but she would, then even things were a little iffy on Bible in school, and so every day to end class in our public school, Miss Bristow would go to the door, which had that pull-down shade. She'd pull the shade down, and she would put her chair in front of our desk, and she would read us a Bible story. And I've never forgot that a day in my life. And Miss Bristow is still living. She's 89 years young, and she teaches line dancing at the local community center.
That's
Wow.
incredible.
Crazy. But that's why I mentioned line dancing. It reminded me of that.
Theirs is like that. It's the community center, and they bring potluck.
I love that.
And they kind of, some of them may have to hold each other up to dance. But,
Yeah, right.
But
Whatever
they're
we
still
gotta
moving.
do. Well, speaking of an impact like she made on my life, let's talk about the people who have impacted your life to do what you do.
Well, first of all, it would be my dad and his brothers. They were all musical. They were from the Tennessee area, northwest Tennessee, and played down in Memphis and things like that. Growing up, all the influence of I wasn't saved until I met Jan.
Okay.
And to go to church with her, to date her, I would have to go to church with her on Sunday morning.
My mama's rule.
I got you. Good job, Mom.
So I would be playing music probably in places I shouldn't be on the weekends. I would go to church with her on Sunday morning. And so past all that, there was our pastor in that little church. We grew up in Arkansas, a little town, Arkansas. And for him, I had a wreck the night before we got married. All the flower, everything's cut. So at that point, I really began to think about this church I'm going to and what it's all about. And from that point, when I got saved, everything was Christian music for me at that point. I had I actually burned all the albums I had. Her brother was crying, saying, "I want them,"
Right.
But
you
for me,
just wanted to get rid of that.
For me at that
influence.
time, the music I'd listened to and played up to that point it wasn't there for me anymore in my heart. And so at that point, I began to really write and sing, and my pastor his whole family was great at singing harmony.
Yeah.
So I picked that up. He would have me playing, before I got saved, he would have me playing bass on a Sunday morning. you know, I'm like, I'm under so much conviction. I'm up there. He was a very holy man, very, you know.
He believed in Ray.
That's
He
right.
believed in what God
He
had called
poured
him to
into
do.
his life.
Yes, he
just
did.
Poured into his life, and here you are now with the #2 song across the country in the Singing News Faith Country chart. Congratulations on that.
you.
It's called Eyes for You. It's streaming anywhere that, right? Is it Ray?
Yes,
Anywhere that you stream your favorite music on iTunes,
Yes.
Spotify, any of those outlets. And I want you to tell us where we can find you on social media. Maybe if you have a website, let us all know about that.
Yeah, rayhollis.com, and that'll lead you to most other places, you know, to YouTube.
Okay.
And all, so there's links all over rayhollis.com, and we try to keep it up to date. And
Good.
And,
Good. RayHollis.com. That's HOLLIS,
Yes.
RayHollis.com. And I've been blessed talking to you guys today. I wish we had more time. I want you to come back sometime, maybe on my show, and talk
Would
a little
love
bit more
to.
about what you do. Because I feel like the ministry aspect of it, especially Jan, with you being involved, is something
It's-
that is so needed.
Thank you.
And I admire what you do so much. Thank you for being here today. Congratulations on 48 years of marriage.
and we're only
Thank you.
39 again.
And after all these years, you still are very much in love with the two J's that mean the most to you,
Absolutely.
Jesus
Absolutely.
and Jan.
Absolutely.
That's Ray Hollis. This is Jan. My name is Joseph Reed, and this is Singing News.